Kaleo that on those stairs. It's measly 2 stairs.
Lame. Check this out.
And you just drop it. That was not cool. Can you play with the slinky?
It could be a chair. It could be a table.
Oh. Give it a little kick. That's cool. Wow. How do you do that? Never seen a
idea once
slinky.
for a remote control slinky, where you could steer it, like go left on the chair or right on the chair. You know, if you had like a nice staircase in like a house, you know, the staircase would split. You could choose which direction you want to go.
If you had a nice staircase. If you were, say, one of the bushed kids.
Or you could dodge obstacles, or like, you know, cool. You know, I haven't solved the problem of flatland yet. You know, like just getting a perpetual motion slinky going is actually quite a scientific feat. You know, but I'm working on it. And the problem is you got to put so much, you know, mechanically in the center here. And as you can see, that wouldn't be a problem like at rest. But as soon as this slinky goes to motion, you've got all that flux. I like to call it flux. I can't think of a better word for it to really describe what a slinky does.
What is flux? What is flux?
But unfortunately, as you can see, the bottom on the first, what I call slink, becomes the top on the second. So it creates all these challenges from an engineer, from an engineering perspective, because whatever mechanism that you put in that's going to create the perpetual slinky motion has got to be flexible enough to allow for the flux on the top and the bottom.
So true.
You spent way too much time thinking about this.
He's been working on it. It's been, how many years have you been working on this complex, this whole situation?
Off and on for about 10 years, but
You'll get to it, buddy. You'll get to it.
It was my thesis in college. Unfortunately, we're still at the beginning stages of slinky technology, because the biggest obstacle before us right now is just simple perpetual motion. I mean, in the future, what do I see for slinkies? I see you know, space jumping from like one spot, let's say call it point A, not necessarily point B that's right next to it, but like point L or Z.
Like wormholes.
Almost like a wormhole, but to go through space-time, you know, and really just staying in the same time, but going to a further space than what's right next to it. So that's the idea.
Going through space-time sans the time.
And yes, and answering your first question, I do believe that, you know, that like Spock from Star Wars, or like, you know, Scotty would see this as the most direct link to traveling in actual space-time. You know, in a direct connection to the future of trans-space movement and warping, and you know, ultimately just theoretical space
really great.
space relative physics.
I can't wait to see your thesis.
Go deeper into the theoretical physics of it, Garrett, please. I'm very intrigued.
You had me lost me. Go break it down.
Like the
Yeah, he's right. Dan's right. I don't get it.
Understand. A slinky is theoretical.
Talk to him.
A slinky is theoretical in nature. I mean, other than defining it in a state of rest, it's undefinable while it's in motion. When you're talking about theoretical physics, everything's in motion.
There's a string theory.
There's no way to define what's moving. I mean, everything's relative to the things around it. A slinky is the perfect example, because as you can see, and the movement of a slinky is similar to wavelengths of water or sound, if we best understand it. Because you got straight wave. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible.
You're trying to dumb it down for our sake. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
But you've got several different types of waves. I mean, sound waves, if you've ever looked at a screen, is like up and down, kind of a wave motion, almost like the surface of like the ocean. The sort of waves that are really valuable to somebody studying theoretical physics are not those kinds of waves. They're impulse waves, as you can see right here.
Oh.
You get an impulse wave. It doesn't affect the space around it, but it's just movement through. It's just movement through a vector, and you create a pulse, right? Well, a slinky is a combination of the both. There's, I mean, it's really
Hey,
a
Garrett,
difficult
Garrett,
concept.
stop! Hey! Isn't that a spring?
I'm done with this.
Okay. Sorry, dude.
I thought so.
I know.
Thanks.
It's hard.
I was just checking.
You can't.
That's what she said.
You can't call Picasso a finger painter. Even though he painted with his fingers every once in a while.
What was he? That was a spring.
That's a spring.